and they're doing 9/11. They're running on a pro 9/11 platform. And it's like, dude, what the fuck are you? You are not living in the same plane of existence as us. You're just out of your fucking mind, I think.
Him now, he won the primary. There's 3 stages on how Muslim gains the power, right? Bryce Crawford said it. We're on stage 1 right now. Do you want me to repeat them to you?
Like, this guy thinks he has a fully fleshed out thought process on this. Like, he is going to describe Abdul Acai Bowl's process of doing Islamic taquitos. He has been successfully fear-mongered. Last election cycle, it was transgender panic. This election cycle, it is Islamophobia. Muslims are the new transgender. Now, of course, the trans panic hasn't gone away. Make no mistake. These guys can walk and chew gum at the same time. I would never make that argument, but it is pretty obvious that, like, the most salient enemy of American narrative is now moving against Islamic-style Sharia enjoyers that are doing ninja taquitos, also known as taquilla. And we are also simultaneously, transgenderifying, transmogrifying your youth as well. It's Islamic-style woke Sharia, because at the same time, they're like, these guys are unbelievably conservative. It's not American at all, but they also are pro-trans, which is also not American, and that's far too woke. And none of it makes sense. Like, are we too woke and we want to transmogrify the children? Or are we too conservative but it's also bad? It's like brown conservatism, not white conservatism, which is good. The reason why I'm bringing this up, this inconsistency, this idiocy, because I was getting attacked by Katie Britt. Katie Britt is a GOP politician who said this. Here's Katie Britt on Fox News last night saying this.
That's what these candidates are talking about. They're jihadist sympathizers. We're seeing that there with El Sayed. You're seeing Hasan Piker become the voice and the spokesperson there for the Democratic Party. So I think we have to highlight it because America needs to know what we're up against. And I think this is going to make sure that in November, people turn away from that.
So yeah, Stepford wife Katie Britt says they are jihadist sympathizers, referencing myself and Abdul Acai Bowl. To which I responded with, we are for pluralistic secular democracy. You are not. You're a conservative. You're a reactionary. You do not like that we live in a diverse, pluralistic, secular democracy. You want to change that. We want to defend it. We want to preserve it. And yet you call us, Islamic jihadists, right? It's ironic because the Islamophobia is directly attacking pluralistic, secular democracy. So I said, yet you call us jihadist sympathizers because we oppose genocide being funded with our tax dollars and our weapons. And what's crazy about this process is, like, these guys are Al-Qaeda, which is a far greater threat to America, American democracy, what the United States of America is. These guys are trying to do what they perceive Sharia is, right? They're trying to do Christian Sharia, or at least like what they unironically claim is Sharia, right? When they talk about Sharia law, what are they talking about? It ranges from like lowering the age of consent to treating women as property. Like, I'm not saying this is what Islam is about either. I'm just saying, like, their association with Islam is like unbelievably conservative, right? It's like fundamentalist, it's conservative. And it's very funny because like American Muslims have always been pulled on this stuff, and Muslims in the United States of America are more woke than the people advocating for Christian Sharia. While simultaneously decrying Sharia law is coming to the United States of America, they actually are trying to literally do Al-Qaeda style policies. So that's what's so interesting about this process, but that's just how racism works, right? There's nothing you can do about it. It's just like, we're white. When white folks are advocating for conservatism, it's good. And when a brown person exists, that's bad because they're, doing conservatism, but brown style. So be on the lookout for this kind of initiative a lot more frequently, because obviously this is going to be base boosted by a lot of conservatives because it's very successful in targeting some less educated people and like leaning into their fears, especially because, you have an upwardly mobile minority population that many people are not privy to. Many people have not actually been around. And it's very easy to fear monger against this upwardly mobile, somewhat isolated minority population, especially when the last 30 years of propaganda has made the Muslim population out to be the number one enemy of the Western world and the United States of America in an effort to justify the global war on terror. So that's what the conservatives are leaning into. And of course, if the liberals do not across the board, the anti-Trump forces do not across the board oppose this kind of racism, it's going to get completely out of hand. And I would go so far as to say it is already completely out of hand.
Have you heard,
Yeah,
have
sure,
you heard
tell
about
me.
that? Stage one, the Muslims are minority, little political power, which call it preaching. They're persuading people that they're good. You know, they're dealing with the LGBTQ and the Jewish people, which they hate. Stage two is that they grow political power. We're slowly getting there. You know, as these more democratic socialists come in and we're electing these people in, they're gaining more and more influence. And then stage three is the Muslim, you know, when they have majority of the society.
Are you shocked at the guy who thinks that like every Muslim on U.S. soil is trying to do fifth column style infiltration is a functional illiterate? Persuading. It's funny because it is rebranded Protocols of Elder Zion shit. It is what Nazis and what fascists use, what anti-Semites used as like the Jewish problem and the Jewish question in the 21st century is now the Muslim problem and the Muslim question. That's what we're doing. Yeah, Muslims control the media, Muslims control banking, Muslims control the world, Muslims are infiltrating the democratic socialist movement, Muslims are trying to Islamify the United States of America, and Muslims have a policy of lying in order to accomplish their agenda.
They're going to start killing Christians on the street. They're going to start killing gay people on the street. They're going to start slaving women, making women their slaves, just like how they do in every other Muslim country. If you go onto a ship in Gaza and you say you're gay, they're shooting you on sight.
Yeah, check this out. This will be a really good question that will expose you as the low IQ droid you are. Convince me that it's reasonable to believe these things about Zohran Mamdani and Abdullah al-Said.
Well, I told you one about Abdullah Saeed is that he's running with someone who said that America deserved 9/11. How?
Saying that about Abdullah Zoran is funny. Saying that about me, I think, is even funnier. Like, I want to enslave women and, like, destroy the white race and shit like that is, like, so stupid. One, because I'm fucking white myself. And two, which one is it? Are we too woke or are we too conservative? And are you conservative? This cognitive dissonance is impossible to overcome for the average chud. Yeah, Democrats describing Hasan Piker is right. This is how they... And it's kind of sad because, like, you know, we joke about stuff like this, like Islamic Robespierre, right? Islamic Jihad Robespierre. But what's crazy about it is that these guys actually take those jokes seriously. One example I can go back to as recently as like a couple of weeks ago is when Elon Musk lost his damn mind, unearthed tapes of Hasan Piker from when I was making jokes about the Great Replacement and how stupid it is. And I was like, yeah, Latinos with their salsa hips, we're coming. We're going to consensually steal your girlfriends and your moms and your sisters. And then, you know, we're going to eradicate the white race. And they were like, dude, what the fuck? He's admitting it. And it's like, no, you dumbass, I'm making fun of you. What do you do when the opposition sincerely believes this fear-mongering? Is secular Islam a thing outside of racist projection? Never pegged you for a very religious person? No, I'm not. That's why it doesn't make any sense, because the very same people that have called me a homosexual who paints his fingernails, who like dresses up transgender style, are now saying we are trying to like make every American woman wear a burqa. It just doesn't make any sense. But it doesn't have to, because, you know, sucks for all of us that have to involve ourselves with these people. They're just dumb as fuck.
And I told you that was false. And if you want to critique Hasan Piker,
it's not false.
If you want to
critique,
critique, if you want to critique Hasan Piker, that's probably like the worst thing to critique him for. Okay, like listen, there's a lot of things Hasan Piker has done and said that I disagree with, but as it relates to that comment, for years now he's been outspoken that what he was saying was that there were particular like foreign engagements involved in by the United States of America that descriptively led to said retaliatory attack. 9/11 was an attack of terror. 9/11 was an atrocity. 9/11 was unjustified.
Yeah, linked back to the Islamic regime.
Are absolute terrorists.
Linked back to the Islamic regime.
But I mean, he's even apologized for wording it in the way that he did. Like, if you want to hold,
of course he did now. Yeah, no, because you got caught, right? It's like, no, I did at the time.
Anything against Hasan, I just feel like that's one of like more difficult things to hold against him, because like that's one of the things that he's explained in context and held himself accountable for saying. But obviously, I still disagree with the wording. Does this mean that all Christians are pedophiles because Donald Trump was pictured standing next to Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah, by that logic, Christians of the Holocaust, yeah, I mean, it's Fucking ridiculous. He said stuff that I disagree with. Why is it something every fucking person says? Because I have been so successfully tarred and feathered that it's like virtually, and I talk so much. I have a fairly aggressive group of motivated cyber stalkers who will be all up in your replies as soon as they see anybody defending me, that they have to do the throat clearing all the fucking time. The Republican Party's clip chimping initiative and manufactured outrage initiative isn't new. It's not new at all. People have been doing this to me online for almost a decade at this point. And that is the reason why anyone who defends me has to do the throat clearing of like, well, you know, Hasan Piker is a grave threat, but, you know, this is the worst reason to go after him and that kind of thing. Immediately, they'll be like, he's a dog abuser. He fucking murders dogs, Islamic style, a dog murderer, of course. And also he is a jihadist. He's a Maoist. He wants the American countryside to do the Great Leap Forward. He wants to do the pest campaign here. He wants to kill all the sparrows. That's what Hasan Piker wants.